I had school that day, so I couldn't stay, but I waited to hear what my dad had to say. I asked about something my teacher had said, that our country was split between blue states and red. I asked what it meant, and if it was true, and which one were we, the red or the blue?
It's easy to see, quite simple.
Dad said.
We think the right way, which means that we're red. Since we're red, we believe in traditions of old. Hard work and family are values we hold. Respecting your elders, lending neighbors a hand, saving sex until after your gold wedding band. We believe in our right to keep children from smut, and expressing your faith doesn't make you a nut. We believe in the Bible, the power of prayer, that God helps us through if we need Him there. In fact, our religion is always our guide. It's what we trust most, not something we hide. We're committed to God, the value of life, and believe that a marriage means husband and wife. We're for equal justice and, of course, equal rights, but not special treatment for just the non-whites. We're guardians, protectors of what makes us strong, and keeping those out who just don't belong. Our founding fathers would call it a crime to give it all up after all of this time.
But most of all, we want America strong. So you see now, my child, being red can't be wrong.
He smiled, and I knew Dad was proud to be red, and he got up to leave as he patted my head. But I still had a question as I sat and I sat. Dad, what about blue states? Don't they believe that? And I asked if my teacher was right or was wrong when she said that both states could still get along. My dad looked at me, then he sat right back down, and he told me all this with a sigh and a frown.
The blue states are really the wrong way to be. And once I explain it, you'll see. Yes, you'll see. In the red, we believe in the simple things most. Moral values ignored by the folks on the coast. They think that they know us, what makes us reds tick. They think each of us is some backcountry hick. We're simple, plain-spoken, God-fearing folks. But to blue states, the heartland's the butt of their jokes. They believe that the truth about what's A-OK can only be found in New York or L.A. But that's not the worst. No, I'll tell you more. They don't love our country as much as before. They throw away history lessons we've learned and defend the protesters when our flag is burned. They're quick to agree with America's foes, like the UN or France or God only knows. We've watched them for years. Now we say, enough! If that gets them upset, it's too bad. I say, tough. They want everyone else to be like they are, to get a facelift in a new hybrid car. They love Playboy and welfare and internet porn. They believe in abortion right up till you're born. They love sushi, the ozone, and rap radio, sex ed in the schools, and those X-rated shows. They want us to march in their gay pride parade, let kids go to college who don't make the grade. They take money from us to give to the poor, but won't tell them to work so that they can have more. They think every problem is solved with a tax, even those that we have because morals are lax. They think family and faith are not worth a dime, and bringing up values is wasting their time. They turn up their nose at traditions we keep. To them, marriage is stupid, and God is a creep. And some even say that there's no God at all. They want prayer out of schools and the cross off the wall. They give their kids drugs, let them stay out late too. They let them do anything they want to do. They skip Sunday church because they're out swapping wives and breaking commandments to ruin their lives. Make no mistake, they want sex to invade every part of our lives from the cradle to grave. It's a war that we're fighting, one we can't lose. Everyone has a side that they now have to choose. I won't say they're evil, but I truly believe we'd be much better off if the blues would all leave. They're against what I know makes America great, and that's why the blues are the people I hate.
So that's what I learned from my father that day, and I walked on to school, stopping once on the way to meet my best friend and hear what he'd say. And I wondered if he also knew I was red, and that anyone blue was so sick in the head. If he thought that our teacher was wrong, that we must all agree for us to be strong, and there wasn't a way we could all get along. So I asked him the question that you might ask too. Is why God ever made some states red and some blue?
I had school that day, so I couldn't stay, but I waited to hear what my mom had to say. I asked about something my teacher had said, that our country was split between blue states and red. I asked what it meant and if it was true, and which one were we, the red or the blue? My mother told me,
I'll explain it to you. We think the right way, so we're totally blue. Since we're blue, we look forward to how things will change, for progress is good, not scary or strange. We respect different views than we might have today. Each one should be heard, every one gets a say. As blues, we're convinced no one answer must fit. You don't have to conform, not one little bit. We believe that we all must help those in need, 'cause it takes the whole village to grow every seed. We push for accepting each culture and race. Every one is important, each one has its place. If we must, we'll protest for everyone's rights. A good life, you know, isn't just for straight whites. We're idealists protecting what's made us so strong. Every group that first came here once did not belong. Our founding fathers would call it a crime to give it all up after all of this time. Our America should be the ideal we teach. To be blue means we practice the things that we preach.
She smiled and I knew Mom was proud to be blue. Then she hugged me and said she had things to do. But I still had a question as I sat and I sat. Mom, what about red states? Don't they believe that? And I asked if my teacher was right or was wrong when she said that both states could still get along. My mom looked at me, then she sat right back down and told me all this with a sigh and a frown.
The red states have gone with the wrong way to think, and once I explain it, you'll see why they stink. In the red, they're afraid of most anything new, that thinking itself is a bad thing to do. They tell everyone we're the liberal mob, and see each of us as some big city snob. We're just thoughtful, compassionate people who care, but to red states it means that they have to beware. They want to go back to some simpler time when commandments from God told them what was a crime. They want to tell everyone else what is right, like whom you can marry or sleep with at night. And when it comes to TV, listen to this. A killing is better to show than a kiss. And some secret agenda, cooked up by gays, ends life as we know it one of these days. They'll close off our borders, then put up a wall, and English would have to be spoken by all. They love NASCAR and hunting and poisoning the earth, but they're all up in arms about who's giving birth. They love fast food and Fox News and talk radio, prayer in our schools and their rifles in rows. With just reds around, there'd be slaves in the South, and those HBO guys would have soap in their mouth. There'd be no vote for women, but they could have a gun. They'd ban dancing and singing and all kinds of fun. And if you admit some American flaws, they'll ask you to leave and take your in-laws. They live in a world with their heads in the sand, then they call us extreme when we take a stand. They just close their ears when we ask them to think, so their minds start to rot, then get smaller and shrink. Using logic or facts is the last thing to do. If it's not in the Bible, it just isn't true. To them, science is never enough of a proof, and to teach evolution just means you're aloof. It's a war that we're fighting, one we can't lose. Everyone has a side that they now have to choose. I won't say they're stupid, but sometimes I know we'd be much better off if the Reds would just go. They're against what I know makes America great, and that's why the Reds are the people I hate.
So that's what I learned from my mother that day, and I walked on to school, stopping once on the way to meet my best friend and hear what she'd say. And I wondered if she also knew I was blue, and that anyone red just wouldn't do. If she thought that our teacher was wrong, that we must all agree for us to be strong, and there wasn't a way we could all get along. So I asked her the question going round in my head, if blue states are so smart, why are so many red?